when 2001 come around, I was just dialed into the max. Well, I got a nice steer roping horse, had a nice team roping horse, and had me a couple of good partners.
Let's go through round 9 and tie down roping. What happened?
Just like he talked about, his Fred Whitfield, Cody Ohl show, and sure, he struggled in a couple rounds, and he come back in the 9th round and blasted one. I think he was 7-4, 7-5. I had the world championship already won, backed in there, and had a little trouble in the box. I don't like to stay in there very long. And Kev kept kind of fighting and shooting, and Kev was decent, so I was like, I'm going for first. I'm not, same thing he'd have done, if I'm winning the round. He's going to try to beat me. And I took a throw that I would have taken 20 more times in a row, but just being in that box longer, I just kind of felt like I kind of got my loop behind me a little more, and then when I come with it, I kind of had to try to push it a little bit instead of staying over the front rope, and I missed that sucker, and I was winning the average and everything at the time. And when I pulled that second rope, I had to, it kind of bobbled just a little, so I glanced down at it as I'm running wide open. And naturally, you want the calves to go to the right, so I even steered over here pretty good ways, and the calf just didn't take it. He went in between the wall and me to the left. So it made it for a pretty hard shot. So I went ahead and took it because I had a 10-second lead in the average. So if, I could still be 17 or 18 on his calf, I'm still in good shape, with one to go. And I rope him, and my curl comes around and figure eights the back leg. So I make that corner, and I just lift up on it like that just to keep the slack tight and some pressure on it. So at least it pulls up on the back leg, And so when I come down, I got off a little earlier than I probably should, but what caused me to come down is that rope come tight as I'm coming down, and then my leg hits straight, and that extra weight from the calf and, my weight and the momentum, when that sucker hit the ground, it just, so I go to get up and it won't even work, like it's nothing there, so your mind's going 90 to nothing, I get down there and the calf is actually laying flat on the ground. So the best thing for me to do in my predicament would have been just to lay on him, cut the rope, and then let him up and flank him again. But like I said, my mind was shot, so I'm 2 foot behind him. I cut the rope and I leave myself about a foot of rope to hold on to. So he jerks me down. I can remember dragging behind this calf and doing all this stuff, and like I was almost blacked out. It was just like big old light bulbs in my eyes. I couldn't even really tell what I was doing. I just, my body was wanting to shut down, and it said, you lose, or you lost, you know what I mean? Like it's the craziest feeling I ever went through. And the calf was decent size, and as he's moving, I flank him just with off of my left leg and don't even use my power leg to flank. It's just dragging back here, and I get him down, and then I step across him and get him tied. But as soon as that adrenaline, when I threw my hands up, I just felt like I just passed out, So it was like I said, I think it was a great story. I get as much compliments off of that as I ever did, breaking a record or doing anything else. So, but I know, in my heart, and I know it was the year that cost me, 5 or 6 more championships, more all-arounds. It got me off track at the top of my career, like I'm an all-around world champion. I'm at the very, very top, and then I'm right at the very bottom.